Okay, we'll go ahead and call the public meeting at 5:30 to 5:45, September the 13th, 2021 to order. Roll call. Don't have to do a roll call? Okay. This meeting is Ron Dausch presenting on behalf of the building department to the public about their intent to receive a grant for purchase of a vehicle. Any council members have any questions?
I do.
Yeah, can Ron come up here so we can ask him questions?
Yes.
First, could you explain?
Wait, I already recognized Betsy. Go ahead and ask your questions.
Okay. My question is, do you have a vehicle in your department that the mayor uses?
No.
Okay, where does the mayor's vehicle, where did it come from? Because I heard it came from your building department.
I have no personal knowledge of it. I don't know. You asked me where it came from. I don't know.
Right. Mayor, can you answer that? Where did the vehicle come from that you
It
drive?
has nothing to do with what he's wanting.
This has to do with the vehicle appropriation. I just want to know how many vehicles are in his department.
I can answer that for you. I have 5.
You have 5?
Yes,
Okay. And the mayor does not drive one?
correct.
So
Did you,
I had heard, I think last year we clarified that in a budget meeting. I'll have to go back, but I think that it was discussed that you did receive that you gave him a car from the building department.
the vehicles I have is a 2004 Ford F-250, a 1998 Ford F-150, a 2007 Chevy Colorado, a 2010 Ford F-150, and a 2003 Buick Rendezvous. Those are the vehicles that I'm responsible for.
Okay, but last year, is that correct, Mayor? Am I
What had happened was I took one from the dog pound.
from the what? I'm sorry.
Dog pound, because he had 2 trucks up there.
Okay.
And I took one from the dog pound to drive it. And then also, after driving that, it was decided that the building department could use a pickup truck more than anything at that time last year. So I pulled 17,000, they had 25,000 for a vehicle.
Okay.
And I pulled 17,000 out for the vehicle I'm driving now and gave them the pickup truck.
Okay, that's, okay.
So the funds that you used to buy your vehicle came from their department?
Correct,
And now they need more funds to buy an additional vehicle?
right.
Well, the vehicle that we got was the 2007 Chevy Colorado. So that's the one, I believe that's the one that came from the dog pound, right?
Correct.
Animal control.
Was that valued at greater than 17,000 that he took out of the account or not?
It was probably close to that. I mean, I'm not a car person. I don't know. But the one that we're looking at now, the problem is the mowing crew uses these vehicles, 2 of these vehicles on a regular basis, and this year alone, we've spent over $3,000 just trying to keep those vehicles up. And so the 2004 F-250 and the 1998, those 2 have been the ones that have been a pretty big drain. Then when they break down, of course, this last time it was 2.5 weeks before we ever even got it back. So it really puts a bind on things, trying to keep the yards up, keep the cleanup and stuff done. So the USDA grant would pay 55% of the cost of the vehicle up. I forget what the top end, but we won't even be close to the top end. But we have to have the money. We had to show that the money, our portion would be available to qualify for the grant. So if the money's put in there and then the grant doesn't come through, we're not going to be buying a truck because obviously it's not, so it'd just go back, it would roll back into the general fund.
Okay.
So
Where would you get this money from?
It's in,
I beg your pardon, that's right. Yeah, I asked the wrong question.
Well, it's okay.
So-
The USDA, is that what you mean?
No, No,
Okay.
it's just, yeah.
She wanted to know where the initial 35 was, and I just said it's already in your, you have it in your budget.
Yeah, I requested
proposed
it
for
in the budget.
2020.
Okay,
It would,
okay.
and then, like I say, if we don't, we had to have that, we had to put that in there ahead of time, or we can't even apply for the grant. So we had to show that we were going to ask for it. If it doesn't get appropriated, we can't get the grant no matter what. If it goes through, and for some reason the grant doesn't go through, the money just rolls back into the general fund. It's not something that we can
Right.
use for anything else.
Right.
So,
I understand that. So this would be your vehicle?
we would replace, what my plan is to replace the oldest vehicle in there so that we have one that's more dependable. So,
And so would it be your vehicle?
That's-
Excuse me, may I ask a question?
I'm asking a
I'm
question.
trying to understand what you mean by
No,
it. It would
who
belong to the
would-
building department.
Everybody in the building department would use it.
Okay,
Right now, we're pulling that trailer with the two mowers on it with a half ton, and it's just,
okay.
it needs to be a 3/4 ton.
So in your email, you said that your main concern was that $800 to redo a engine or?
No, that
something on a
that was
engine?
our most recent repair.
Okay.
When we had our email conversation, the most recent repair was right around $800, and that was for a shifter, wiring harness, and few other odds and ends associated with, and the labor. If we have to do it, the white truck needs new brakes. I mean, a complete new brake system. We've already had it checked. That would be something that I would do probably through the winter months and be ready for next year. But again, we put all that into it. What else is going to break down? Because it's getting the age on it. They keep breaking down, so.
Sure, yeah, the police department has a similar issue.
Sure.
So,
I was wondering if we are maintaining the
Okay.
cars so that we can, the people who are using.
They can't hear you,
these
Pat. You need to speak up. They can't hear you out there.
I was wondering if you are trying to phase out a car so that you can maintain your vehicle squad.
Yeah, so that we want to phase out the oldest vehicles so that we can, the fleet's getting pretty old, and it's just starting to the maintenance on it is just starting to be, it doubled this year so far.
So it's not necessarily your car, it is your vehicle squad,
Yeah, it's in part of the fleet, yeah.
right?
My concern is that our budget is super vehicle heavy. I mean, we have 150,000 budgeted for police vehicles. You want 35 for a truck. The Parks Department wants 25 for another vehicle. The fire chief wants 45,000 for a vehicle. So I'm just a little concerned about the vehicle heaviness. And I think in retrospect, we might look and say, if you had that 17,000 that the mayor took, that could have been part of that 35 that you could have used towards this USDA grant.
Well, it's my understanding that, and you correct me, when there's money from year to year, you can't save it and use it.
It just rolls back.
So it
into
would
the
just
fund
been
came out of.
gone, right?
It wouldn't be gone, it would just roll back into the budget.
Right.
So it'd still be there, and you could repurpose it towards this.
Right.
Yes.
and I have a concern as well that, we're just we're not as forward-thinking as we need to be, with, some of these things. There's some critical needs in the city. But, yeah, so you're having this hearing because you're presenting.
This was a requirement for the USDA
Okay.
grant.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, I
A public
didn't know
hearing,
that.
a public hearing was part of, there's a lot of prerequisites that go
Okay.
into this, and this is just one of them.
Thank you for explaining. I didn't know.
You're
I
welcome.
didn't understand
Yeah.
the reasoning, so.
Does anybody from the public have any questions or concerns? We only have about 5 minutes left, and I want to make sure that if anybody in the audience has any questions or concerns for Ron, that they can ask them.
Yes, that money's already in his budget, correct? Well, you're asking it to be transferred back to your budget.
No, this is for 2022.
This would be for 2022, it's a request there. And we put into 35 just because of the grant, but with the 55% matching, it should be far less than that we would actually utilize.
And that would go back into.
And then everything else would just roll back in.
Thanks.
And, because we couldn't spend that for anything else, is that correct? Okay.
Shouldn't.
Any other questions from the public? Any other questions from the council?
Oh, when are you applying? I beg your pardon.
I've already started the
Oh, okay,
application.
okay.
Because just the fact that I put the request in the budget was enough to get me started.
Okay.
Right.
But if it doesn't
But that's,
get budgeted in,
3 minutes.
then the process will stop.
When, do you know when you might have an answer, or do you have to wait till the money is appropriated?
The money will have to be appropriated.
Okay.
It'll have to be there for sure before I can get a final answer. But the final answer, they said probably, it varies from year to year on these USDA grants, the way their fiscal year ends, but they said probably it's going to be February, March before
Okay.
that we would get an answer on that.
Great, thank you, Ron.
Anything else?
nope, don't think so. We'll
Thank you.
wait a couple minutes and close this meeting out if there's nothing else from the audience.
See, this is the one I was looking at. 545 for that bond. I didn't see this one.
Those chairs blocked off.
Beg your pardon?
Are those chairs blocked off?
What's going on?
Smart.
I know they did something towards the end. Because that's when they went to the iPad thing for all of that.
There's one seat up here if somebody wants it.
Detective, would you, yeah, do you want to grab a couple of these and take them over there? Do you mind? Dustin? Anybody? Thank you.
Announcement.
Sure o'clock's right.
Could be. That, yeah, we got 5:45. Yep.
There it went. All right, we'll close the public meeting. First 15 minutes of it? Need a motion and a vote to close it?
Okay, I'll motion that we close the public meeting on September 13th. That was from 5:30 to 5:45.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Roll call?
Anderson,
Yes.
Justin,
Yes.
Bosso,
Yes.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Spiadachny, and Wolf.
Yes.
All right.